right now it's time for that time when we talk to our special guest. Tonight our special guest is Deborah Lambie. Deborah has passed the first test in her journey to become the world's most accomplished and complete woman. Just recently she was crowned Miss World New Zealand. Now she's off to take on the world. Deborah Lambie, welcome to The Beat Goes On.
Thank you for having me.
Wow, isn't this wonderful? We've had many complaints by our baby boomer viewers. They said, there's no glamour on the program, Gerard, no glamour. So tonight we've decided to increase the glamour content. We've revved it up a bit. Isn't it wonderful that we have Miss World New Zealand on the program?
It's really good to be here.
Yeah. Now, Deborah, a little bit of history. You were born in New Zealand, of course. Whereabouts in New Zealand?
I'm very proudly New Zealand through and through.
Ooh.
Born in Dunedin, grew up in Dunedin, studied in Dunedin, and have just moved to Wellington for my final year of medical school.
And well, it's wonderful to have you in Auckland tonight. And one day I hope you're going to be living in Auckland. How do you like Auckland?
I really like Auckland. Lots happening in Auckland, lots of fun things to do.
Yeah.
I've got lots of friends in Auckland as well, so I always really enjoy coming up.
So Deborah, you're excited. I can see you're a young woman of 24 years old, and you've got to be the most excited woman in New Zealand because you're off to Miss World, and very soon. How many weeks to go before you're at Miss World?
So the dates for the international competition haven't been announced just yet, but it will be sometime between August to the end of the year. Wow. 30 days long. Wow. So really looking forward to it.
Now, there's one other major thing that you're very excited about. In December of this year, you will finally be qualified as a full-time, paid-up doctor. Wow, isn't that great? You've been at medical school for 6 years now, has it?
Something I've been working towards for the last 6 years. And it's been an amazing 6 years in health, something that I'm really passionate about. So it's amazing to think now that I'm coming to the end of this, and it just all begins when you start as a doctor, I think, as well. Yeah,
so the two big highlights in your life, aren't they? Just coming right now, they're peaking. Yeah. And what did your dad do in Dunedin?
So he is an emergency medicine specialist.
Oh, that's the connection, isn't it, with being a doctor?
Yes, and when you have, I can just remember as a young child going to the emergency department and waiting for Dad to go home and seeing a really special interaction where he was being really kind to a lady who was very distressed and in a lot of pain, and I think those, like seeing that and seeing someone who I really looked up to, my father, I think that has informed me and helped me decide that I want to do something similar.
And not to be sexist, of course, what did Mum do? Because that makes it sound as though, Dad could have been a home husband, couldn't he?
So Mum's actually a doctor as well. Oh. So it's in the genes through and through.
Well, there's no way you couldn't have been a doctor, is there?
Yeah.
So were you one of those people, we'll talk about Miss World in just a moment, but down in Dunedin, us oldies up here, we see that down in Dunedin the students run riot and they have these big parties and they trash streets. Well, I hope you weren't one of them.
That's definitely a very small minority that gives all students a bad name. And
I quite like it, actually.
Definitely wasn't there. Yeah. No.
But they are great days at university, aren't they?
It's awesome, absolutely awesome. We have some of the most amazing minds in the world at Otago who are motivated to teach us, and then people from all around the world come to study at Otago, and you make amazing friends, learn so much, and share so many experiences that shape you when you're young and deciding what you're about and what your values are. And so the last 6 years for me have been amazing.
Was Mum and Dad a good-looking couple, or...?
So Mum and Dad are normal New Zealanders, and I think what a lot of people forget about beauty pageants is lots of people focus on the beauty of beauty pageants rather
than have to be pretty good before you
rather than the purpose of beauty pageants. And a massive focus of the beauty pageants is the charity work that you do. So
and they don't have. Do they have a swimsuit contest still?
No, Miss World, that's completely gone.
Yeah, that's gone now. You see, so now we're going to go for brains, intelligence, and a little bit of beauty. Is that how they do it?
Yeah, and so there's interviews and a sports section now. So they've taken out the swimwear section and they've put a sports section in, and so we'll have to do a beep test overseas and lots of physical challenges. But it's really about giving and about the charity work. And through Miss World New Zealand, we raised $17,000 for a special needs school based here in Auckland, and I think that's pretty special and something really great to be a part of.
Now, I'm a guy from the old generation, so we were accustomed to beauty contests. You know, they used to be called beauty contests and that. And now, so we would wonder, what's the purpose of a Miss World now if they're going to take away that particular section? So, what's your feelings on the way things have changed? Are you completely in agreement with the way it's gone, or
with the way it's gone in terms of the new focus?
The new focus, yes.
Yeah. So Miss World 30 years ago started Beauty with a Purpose, and Beauty with a Purpose is their international charity. And different countries have different projects. And over the last 30 years, they've donated over $1 billion to charity. And they also go to places and help with aid work. And that's the main focus of beauty pageants. It's about the charity work and about giving. And it's also about educating people. And I was lucky enough to have the experience to go to Miss World University in Korea 2 years ago. And they took 40 or 50 girls from all around the world to the demilitarised zone between North and South Korea.
Wow.
We all spent time with people from the military and with learning about the history of the Korean War. And for me, that was really, really educational to go and see what's happening there firsthand. And so I think people can trivialise things, but there's nothing trivial about taking girls to a war zone and letting them see firsthand what's going on, and then letting them take that story back to their country.
And I noticed that you had to do a short presentation on what you would do with ISIS. Wow, that would have been a hard one. What was your answer to that one?
Well, it's a really difficult question, and obviously no one can solve these kind of problems overnight, but I was asked from an educational perspective, what should we be doing to help combat things like what's happening with ISIS? And I basically said, I talked about Gandhi's quote, which is education is the main tool we can use to change the world. And I believe that young people need empowering alternatives so that they can put the energy into empowering channels. And also young people need to be taught values all around the world so that they know that each life and every life is of an infinite value. And that's what I talked about in my answer.
It's a hard one, isn't it?
It's so hard. Yeah.
So in the end, I don't think even the people judging it would know the answers themselves. Yeah. So now, tell me, winning Miss World New Zealand, that must have increased the number of boys calling you up for a date. Has that happened? I'm not sure. I've got lots of nice friends, but that hasn't really happened. Is this a good time to have a boyfriend or not to have a boyfriend?
So, I think it's just up to your personal choice. If there's someone special in your life,
is there someone special in your life?
There is someone special in my life.
That's what I was trying to. Yeah. And how's he accepting all this? You being Miss World.
He's just happy that I'm happy, and he's also happy that I get a chance to tell a New Zealand story at Miss World. And that story, I believe, is that we're world leaders in women's rights, led by Kate Shepherd all those years ago to be the first country in the world where women were given the vote. I think New Zealand is a really special country that has a special story to tell at Miss World about women's rights. What happens if you win? Wow. Wouldn't that be wonderful? What happens? It would be amazing. And there's never been a New Zealander to win Miss World. Now, there's been a winner for the Miss Universe, but never a Miss World. And which is the biggest competition, the Miss World or the Miss Universe? Miss World. Miss by far, is it? Yes. Last year, Miss World had 2 billion viewers of the final show online. 2 billion. Even getting first, second, or third grade would be amazing. Yeah. And every contestant will be there to represent the country, their country, as best they can. And I would love to have the opportunity to tell New Zealand's story and put the focus on New Zealand and the special things that we do in New Zealand. And I think by becoming Miss World, that's what you would have the opportunity to do, and that would be a truly amazing opportunity. Well, if we can have the World Cup rugby and Miss World, well. Life is great for New Zealanders, isn't it? We missed out on the Cricket World Cup, unfortunately, but so you're going to have to make up for the Cricket World Cup, okay? You're going to have to become Miss World. Deborah, I'm going to shake your hands and wish you the best. Thank you so much. Wonderful night. And I'll be watching
And when they say, and the, well, they go through third, fourth, fifth, and this can only be you. That only happen. Wow, won't that be great? I'll be watching.
Thanks,
Deb.